Welcome to my overview series on value added. Value added. What is it good for? Absolutely everything when it comes to measuring student growth. The information on this slide comes from the Ohio Department of Education, SAS EVOS, and my work with their Ohio Regional Data Leads. Who does value added for the state of Ohio? It's a company called SAS, which is based in Cary, North Carolina. SAS developed EVOS, which is an analytic portion of their company to study the growth of students. They do value added for many states in the United States, but also do data analysis in the private sector, the business sector, and in the banking sector. What does EVOS mean? Well, it's the Education Value Added Assessment System. If you go to ohva.sas.com, you'll be able to see your district, your school, and you as a teacher's value added reports. You, if you have one. Well, data is just a piece of the puzzle. There are many things that shows you what's going on in a classroom, from teacher information, parent feedback, attendance grades, discipline, and value added. None of them are more important than the other as a standalone, other than what you are discussing at that moment. For this video, we're talking about value added and why it's important. When we talk about value added, that's talking about growth. And what is growth versus achievement? Well, achievement is whether or not a student reaches a targeted proficiency level, a certain score, a certain benchmark. Everybody could hit the same benchmark. One person could hit the benchmark. That's an achievement score. Growth has to do with whether or not a students are growing. So a student is in comparison with other students who took the same assessment in the same year across the state. And they compare based on where they started and ended the school year. So in other words, are your students keeping pace with their peers across the state of Ohio? Are they meeting their expected growth? Why do we do expected growth, or why do we have growth? Well, historically, we have high and low achievers. We all had those high achievers that no matter what we did, they were probably going to hit the proficient or higher benchmark. But are we growing them? Are we pushing them? Gradually, they'll start moving their way towards the middle or the norm if we don't push them. So that's where growth comes into play for them. We also historically have students who may be struggling for a variety of reasons, and they may not be hitting that proficient level, but we should be able to push those students so that they could grow, and year by year, hopefully closing that gap and keeping pace with their peers and growing them as students, hopefully hitting that proficient level at some point. Some may never, but they're growing. But what about economic status? Well, we know in the top left scatter plot that students that come from economically disadvantaged backgrounds statistically correlate with lower achievement scores. But look at the academic growth versus the economic status in the scatter plot in the bottom right. As you see, there is no correlation between economic status and their growth. All students can grow. This slide's not showing it, but it doesn't matter the student's background, economically disadvantaged, if they're gifted, if they're special ed services, all students can grow. Hopefully, that was a quick little review of what value added is, and please watch the other videos in this series to get a better understanding. Thank you.